Hi, Andrew. So I'm sorry you had trouble opening those slides. So what I'm going to do is go through this slide presentation and maybe this will work better for you. So this is our first fitting with Heather, and these are just mock-ups. So of course things will look a little different. This is at the top of the show, the suede bodice and dress. Of course, these are alternate fabrics. Some things that we will change will be narrowing the straps right here, and the bodice, when it's ultimately made, will be boned, so we do not have these crunchy bits in the back, and her back will end at her waist like that. The suede bodice comes off on stage. Both the arms and the bodice will come off really quickly. And then this is the dress, the party dress with all the ruffles, presenting her like a big package or a rose. These ruffles are all built onto one jacket that will be made of the same fabric as the dress, so it will look invisible and go on stage very quickly. We are going to work on the ruffles at the front where I have the yellow square. They're kind of hanging like dead doves a little bit, so we'll fix that. And the tool that we have propping up the mock-up ruffle right now isn't done in an attractive way. That's just us experimenting with shape, and then we'll figure out how to make it more attractive. After she takes off the jacket and appears on the balcony, this is what she'll look like. She'll be in her base dress. So this is the same dress we've been looking at 3 different ways. This strips her down to her most real and vulnerable. It's a very pretty shape on her. Again, we will do some alterations on this. The bodice will be boned, so it won't be crunchy. And we'll fix the neckline and raise the waist up a little bit, but it's a very attractive shape on her. This next dress we see her wearing is like street clothes. It has long sleeves. Unlike the first dress, it has much more decoration, a pattern in the skirt of gold to go with a lot of the gold in the rest of the show. And this is a purchase dress, so it requires a lot of alterations. By the time we take it up at the waist and take it in and do all these things, I think it will look very nice on her. We will see this again in Act 3, Scene 2, when the nurse brings the cord ladders. So this is basically her day wear. This is the second version of this day dress. I had planned that Juliet would put on a coat to leave the house to go get married. It is kind of a white see-through lace coat to lighten the palette. And so this mock-up is made out of navy blue chiffon, just it's what we had. It also doesn't fit very closely. We worked a lot on how to make it fit. But I do have a question. I found another garment in the next slide that I think may work better than this. So let me take you on to the next slide. So I found this on one of my rental forays, and this is not an idea that occurred to me because we were so taken with a piece of research that I found at for the very first meeting that was an organza coat that was see-through with lots of flowers on it. That's what the mock-up in the prior slide is based on. But now that I've found this, I wonder if this is a more interesting solution. There are pink flowers in this that don't show up in the photo, but the pink dress makes the pink flowers pop in person. So I think this lends a little more stature. It is a Renaissance garment, but it is done in a modern way, and it features the same kind of large motifs that we're using in other parts of the play as well. So it's very much in the world of the play. And so I think this might be a better solution. If you agree, then let me know, because I don't want to spend any labor time building the other costume. We've purchased the fabric, but I don't want to spend labor time building a costume if we don't like it. After the wedding, of course, we have the sheet scene or sheet moment, and so this is trying a backless leotard on Heather that she's very comfortable with. It had a good amount of coverage and support. It actually goes down a little further in the back, so she could show a little bit more skin if we're comfortable with that. Right now it does have these big straps on the back and visible in the front. We will replace those with clear straps, which will be much less visible, particularly in the Barkley. Here is a second overdress that I found at the same retail source, and it gave me an idea of darkening Juliet's color palette as we go through the play. So I wonder if after she goes into mourning for Tybalt, it would be good to see her in a dark coat, and then I can get maybe a purple dress or a darker dress to take the color palette way down. I'm really liking that idea after all of the events have happened, to have this visible reminder. Since I did this fitting, I found another one that is plain black and much more delicate in construction. And so between the two of them, I think I could give one to Lady Capulet and one to Juliet. Perhaps this one is more Lady Capulet. I don't know. And that way we can have both women in mourning after Tybalt is dead to kind of reinforce the tragedy that set off these events. This is the final dress, and so of course the mock-up does not look anything like the end result. There are going to be many more layers in the skirt. This is just to get the shape and the fit right. The shape looks quite good on her, particularly from all the angles. I realize I drew this dress much longer than the ground, but of course I'm not sure how practical that is. So let's talk about what her actions are going to be in this dress. Do we think she pretty much just lays around dead, or does she get up and have quite a bit of movement when she discovers Romeo? So I would like this dress to be as fantastical and whimsical and romantic as possible. I love the idea of it being a little longer than her feet, but she can't move around if we do that. So that's one of those things that looks like a great idea in a fitting room or in a rendering, and then, you know, a dress rehearsal we have to hem it up. So let me know what you think about that. And I hope that you enjoyed this, and let me know what your thoughts are. Thanks.